Good evening. I'm Dee Dee Trumbull, and I am the current chair of the Newton Area Women of the Year Advisory Committee. I am so pleased to finally welcome our three 2019 Newton Area Women of the Year honorees, along with our 2020 and our 2021 scholarship committees, recipients, your families and friends, and our Women of the Year Advisory Committee. None of us on the advisory committee knew how appropriate our chosen theme of Bloom Where You Are Planted would be when we selected it. COVID had not yet entered our lives. We just loved the phrase and felt it a great description for all of us who have been honored as a Newton Area Woman of the Year. Over the past 18 months, we have all struggled with the impact of COVID, both personally and professionally. Our Women of the Year Advisory Committee had to resort to wearing masks, Zoom meetings, cancel, reschedule, cancel, and put a 65-year-old tradition on hold, something none of us wanted to do. We're all planted in different gardens, with different pasts, looking forward to different futures. Some being yanked up by the roots, and others bending from the impact. What all of our Women of the Year have in common is their ability to brace, adapt, and grow stronger by using their skills, talents, and abilities every single day, not only for themselves, but mostly for their families, friends, and communities. I am so proud to be in the company of all of these women, our past Women of the Year, our present Women of the Year, and our future Women of the Year. So thank you for joining us today to celebrate.
Well, hey everyone, welcome. I'm Jennifer Votes, and it's an honor to be here today. Thank you for carving out a time of your schedules to join us. The Newton Area Women of the Year organization honors Newton area women who make outstanding contributions to their communities. And now, after more than 60 years, a scholarship fund was established in 2019 by the Newton Area Women of the Year Advisory Committee at the time to recognize and award scholarships to college-bound young women living in the USD 373 boundary who demonstrate these same values, and to encourage and develop the next generation of community leaders, volunteers, and educators. It's been a privilege to serve as the chairperson for the Scholarship Selection Committee, and I'm pleased to introduce you to our 2020 and 2021 scholarship recipients today. I'll start with Mariah McDonald. She was our 2020 scholarship recipient. She graduated from Newton High School in 2020 and is going to college at Wichita State University. She's majoring in pre-med and is a member of the Alpha Phi sorority. Mariah's away at Life Change Camp, and so she was unable to attend, but she is well represented by her family and friends, Mariah and Chad McDonald here. And we're going to show a video that she prepared to take the place of her speech.
My name is Mariah McDonald, and I was one of the recipients for the 2020 Newton Area Women of the Year scholarships. Today, I would like to thank you so much for not only considering me for this scholarship, but also granting me this scholarship. I cannot even begin to explain how much of a blessing this scholarship was throughout my freshman year. And not only a blessing, but also an inspiration. I walked into my freshman year with so many restrictions due to COVID, and I had already lost my prom and my graduation, and I felt at times it was really hard to be excited for all of the freshman year experiences that I was promised that I would get my senior year of high school. Walking into my freshman year, we weren't able to have any floor events. I lived in the honors college. We weren't able to have any floor events. My sorority had to cancel all in-person events. We didn't have any formals or any things that we usually have as far as events in the fall, and I was getting really discouraged because I felt like I was completely being robbed of my freshman year experience because of COVID. Initially, I had a really bad attitude about it, and not necessarily a bad attitude, but I really felt like extremely disappointed in coming to college, and it just wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. However, quickly into my freshman year, I was able to turn all these negatives into a positive and truly bloom where I was planted my freshman year. I met one of my roommates, Jamie Berkerin, and she was very shy compared to me, but on one of the first days that we were there, I took her around and we introduced ourselves to everyone on the floor by knocking on their door because we knew that we weren't going to be able to meet them via floor events, so we just went and met them by ourselves. And my sorority, I actually became the director of programming and events my second semester, and I was truly able to form events that were COVID friendly and that we were still able to get together and gather, but also stay safe and avoid all of those restrictions, which was truly a blessing in disguise. And I was able to meet all these incredible sisters. And I truly believe that one of the things that inspired this was getting this scholarship, because it truly inspired me that not only could I be a leader, but also I could bloom in any situation that I was planted in. And lastly, I would just like to thank my mom so much for pushing me to apply for this scholarship, and everyone in the community that was able to help me get this scholarship. So thank you so much.
You did a good job. Okay, the next scholarship recipient I'd like to introduce you to is Abigail Hisel. Abigail graduated from Remington High School in May, and she plans to attend Kansas State University, ultimately pursuing a career as a milling scientist. With knowledge of flour milling and an emphasis in chemistry within her degree, Abigail aspires to research and develop ways to improve the safety and efficiency of agriculture establishments and products in products. So Abigail, come on up. Congratulations.
I am honored to have been selected as one of the Newton Area Women of the Year recipients. I want to start by saying thank you for this gift that will help me pursue a future in college and help me to chase after my dreams. I have met so many incredible people who have hearts to serve here in Newton, and they have inspired me to strive to be a helping hand and to always offer a kind word when I can. I am forever grateful for each person who has touched my life, been a role model to me, and taught me something about what it means to truly love your neighbor. The support that Newton has given me has allowed me to prosper in many ways. Etc. Shop has shown me how to make a difference in something that you are passionate about, and they have also demonstrated how to walk a path with a higher calling. I believe the best influence is made by an example, and their love for the Lord and for others is uplifting. I have witnessed the resilience of others, and whatever I do and wherever I go, I know that I can be resilient too. And I know that the people of Newton are always supporting me. I appreciate the help that I have been given in this new chapter of my life, and your generosity will not be forgotten. Thank you.
Okay, the next scholarship recipient is Mallory Seirer. And Mallory graduated from Newton High School in May, and she plans to study architectural engineering with a focus on structures and a minor in leadership at Kansas State University in the fall. Congratulations.
All right, first off, I'd like to thank my family, my brothers, my parents, my grandparents for making me the person that I am today. It is their support that has allowed me to chase opportunities for my whole life, really, but especially throughout high school. I like to think that I am in the spring of my life. Though I'm not in full bloom, I have started to sprout. I'd like to thank the Newton Area Women of the Year organization for allowing me to continue to grow throughout college. Thank you all so much.
And our final recipient is Shelby Spreier. Shelby graduated from Newton High School in May, and she plans to continue her education at Hutch Community College to pursue an associate's degree in agriculture. After receiving an associate's degree, Shelby plans to attend Kansas State University, where she will major in agricultural communications with a minor in agricultural marketing and sales. Congratulations, Shelby. Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Shelby Spreier, and I want to thank Jennifer Votes and all of the members of the Women's Community Foundation for this scholarship opportunity. I'm honored to be selected as one of the Newton Area Woman of the Year Scholarship recipients. As mentioned earlier, I am a recent Newton High School graduate, and by taking advantage of dual credits, I will be finishing my associate's degree at Hutchinson Community College this coming year, and then I will transfer to Kansas State University in the fall of 2022. And I will major in agriculture communication with a minor in agricultural sales. I, like many people in this community, am fortunate to be a part of a multi-generation family. My great-great-great-grandparents were immigrants from Scotland who settled here in the late 1800s. So I feel like I have a deep connection to Newton and Harvey County. There have been a multitude of people who have influenced me over the years, and by their example, they have taught me the importance of community. My family, 4-H groups, teachers, church members, and neighbors have provided me with opportunities and resources that have led me to where I am today. I am so thankful for what Newton and Harvey County has to offer and for what it has given me as I've grown up. Being a part of this community has provided me with positive experiences, new friendships, and a lifetime of treasured memories. Although COVID changed the dynamic for the class of 2021, I would not want to experience it anywhere else. I love my hometown. It is the base that keeps me grounded, and I feel it deserves only the best of everything that I can give it. And I plan to do this by continuing my college journey and becoming a contributing adult after graduation. I am anxious and excited to see what may bloom where I have been planted. Thank you.
I wanted to give you all just a brief history, and I mean brief, history of the Woman of the Year, now Women of the Year program. It started in 1956. It was started by the Newton Kansan, and they wanted to honor Newton area women who gave freely of their time and talents, and therefore made the community a better place to live. Clubs, organizations, and individuals were asked to nominate women who had contributed to the community in the areas of community and civic service, education, religion, and business and professional. The nomination included a written resume. 6 judges were chosen to select one woman from each of the 4 categories, as well as the most outstanding of the 4 to be the overall winner or Woman of the Year. From 1977 through 1986, a 5th woman was selected as the overall Woman of the Year. The format was changed in 2004 to select 3 outstanding women from the community from any of the 4 categories listed, and also to dispense with the overall winner category. The year 2017 brought other changes. The name was changed to Women of the Year, and the guidelines for nominees were expanded to include women living outside the Newton, North Newton area, who are active in the community through their occupation and volunteerism. The organization has also become a component fund of the Central Kansas Community Foundation and may accept donations as a nonprofit organization. The selection process for recipients of the award continues to be done by an outside committee of impartial judges and is based on a numerical rubric. For the past 63 years, we have recognized women who enrich our community and the lives of its citizens through their leadership and service. Frankie Taves began the honoree luncheon in 1962, and Betty Reeves was the coordinator of the program for 18 years. An advisory committee of the most recent honorees was later founded, overseeing the Women of the Year program and hosting this recognition event. Thank you for coming.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with our second half of our evening, which is recognizing our Women of the Year for 2020. Again, my name's Krista, and I am Ashleigh Lakey's mentor, and so I get to introduce her to you all this evening. And I have not asked Ashleigh if I can say any of this, or here we go. So I feel like I've known Ashleigh a very long time, since she was a little girl, because of getting to know her parents and doing some renovation work for them and whatnot. So I've kind of seen her grow up. One of my most memorable moments of her as a little girl is when I attended a judgment house at Grace Community Church. And the last, I don't know if any of you have ever been to a judgment house, but the last room you go into is heaven, and it's emotional. And Ashleigh was the sweetest little angel there, and I lost it because Jesus is walking around, and it's just incredible. It's just amazing. I absolutely lost it because Ashleigh was just precious, sitting up beside Jesus. So let's just not do that anytime soon, but someday. She's growing up, and she's a very active member in this community. She grew up in Newton. She loves Newton, has aspired to do incredible things for Newton. She's very involved with her church, which is The Gathering. They do all kinds of ministry all over town and in the community. She's also very involved at Norm's Coffee Bar and with Sunshine Foundation that's there, and the kids and the after school program and just all of that. And then are you the We Are Newton, the flag, the whole shebang? That's Ashleigh. So she's just been a very, very good cheerleader for our community and done some really incredible things. Most recently, the Mint Cup, which I don't even know what that is, but I'm excited to learn. If you follow her at all on social media, it's a new venture that I learned about that she started this past weekend, maybe? It's a few days ago. So we are very, very, very happy to have Ashleigh as one of our new Women of the Year. So, Ashleigh.
Well, good evening, everybody. I am Ashleigh, and I am just so honored to be here this evening, recognized as one of these women. I look over at this table and I'm like, I feel like not in the same class, but it is just an honor to be here this evening. And also, I feel like I would be remiss if I did not recognize my beautiful mother for nominating me for this award. And actually, when Dee Dee called me last spring and told me that I had won this, we got a couple minutes into our phone conversation before I realized that she was actually talking about me, because I thought that she was talking about my mother. And just, you are such a courageous and adventurous pioneer for this community, and you love Newton so well, and it is so fun to love Newton alongside you, so I love you. So I am a Newton gal, born and raised here, and I actually spent most of my growing up years thinking that I would spend my life as an adult overseas. I kind of wanted to be nowhere in the US, and I couldn't really tell you totally why that was the case. I just had a heart for global missions, and I wanted to teach English overseas. And so I think if you would have told me as a 15-year-old that 10 years later I would be standing here accepting this award, like, I would have laughed in your face. But I started working for Norm's Coffee Bar when it was on 6th Street with Back Alley Pizza in 2015, right after I graduated from high school. And I thought that it was just going to be my college job, and I started going to school for English education, and I really just wanted to teach English overseas somewhere. It didn't even really matter to me where at that point, but I knew that English education was going to be a good way to get into wherever I wanted to go. And so I actually spent the first summer of my college years, 2016, in the Czech Republic teaching English at a family camp, and I loved it, but coming home from that trip was actually the first time that I was like, I am actually so excited to go back home to Newton. I love this place. I missed work at Norm's. I missed my church. I missed just Newton. I missed the people. I missed the community. And so it was the first time that I was like, I wonder what the Lord has for me here. And that just kind of began to shift my perspective of just how I could bloom where I was planted here in Newton. So fast forward to 2017, which is when we started having conversations, Shine Foundation, my parents are on the board of, started having conversations with Norms about purchasing that coffee bar and moving it to Main Street. And so since I had been working there for a couple of years already, and since I was their kid, the transition made sense that I would move with them and start managing the Main Street location in July of 2017. So that is when we moved there. And yeah, that's just when God really began to expand my view of just loving this community, loving downtown so much. I remember sitting in planning meetings for that building with Krista, and I was 20 at the time, but she was so gracious and probably let me think that I was doing more than I really was at the time. But we sat in that building together because Regier did the build out for us. They did a great job. And man, I just remember dreaming about what that place would be for downtown, what we would do there, what just the construction project alone would do for the beautification of downtown. And I credit a lot of my just desire to renovate our downtown district to those meetings with you. So it's really an honor to be here alongside you this evening. Between Norms and my church and just living downtown, those were all huge catalysts to me just falling in love with this community. It's a tangible way for me to just love the place that I'm in. And over the last 5 years, I have fallen in love with this town in ways that don't make sense to anybody else. For example, I actually love to be stopped at a stopped train, which is not anybody else's story, but often it's at that intersection at 4th and Main and heading north. And I'm just stopped there and I get to overlook downtown and I get to just see the changes that have taken place even over just the last 5 years that I have loved and cared about it, and it's beautiful to watch. So I so enjoy the privilege of my day-to-day life, allowing me to interact and cross paths with so many different Newtonians, from the ones that are literally just walking down the street because they're here for who knows why, and all the way up to just the ones that love and serve this community on a daily basis as their career. Through Norms, I get to be in good relationship with the school district, the police department, the fire and EMS crews, the city staff and commission, the Chamber of Commerce, and so many of you. And it's one of my greatest honors to just sit with a cup of coffee and have conversations and get to know you guys, because I've truly learned that the best way to know a community is to truly be in relationship with the members of the community. And so I'm just thankful that it is so easy for me to do that through my job. I remember dreaming about what Newton would look like 10 years from now, and here I am 5 years into that dream, and I look around and I see so many of the things coming to fruition and just the growth. And I think propelled by COVID, people have just really started to invest in being in the places that they're at and blooming where they are planted. And so all of those things, all of those people working together has created Newton just being this amazing community environment that I'm just blessed and honored to be a part of. One of the things that I got to take over and kind of launch in 2018 was the Newton flag, and I did not design it, but I was basically handed some files and asked to run with it. And so having seen what a flag had done for Wichita and had done for other surrounding communities that had adopted one recently, I was like, yes, I want to be a part of that. Newton deserves that. Why does Newton not have that yet? And so I basically started promoting it under the name We Are Newton and created social media accounts for it and merchandise and flags. And we just created an online community, honestly, of people that grew up here that were telling stories about this is what I remember about my childhood, and people that live here now that are raising their families saying this is what I want Newton to be for my kids when they're grown. And so last year the city of Newton decided to officially incorporate a flag, and they chose ours to represent Newton for years and years to come, which is still blows my mind and makes me want to cry every time, but it's such an honor to be a part of that. As far as the future, I see nothing but more investment coming from myself for this community. You can catch me making coffee downtown. You can catch me walking around downtown streets, probably in the middle of them, taking photos of Main Street because I'm weird and I do that all the time. It doesn't change, by the way. All the photos are the same, but I love it so much. I'm a building nerd, so I go to the business owners and I'm like, hey, can I see the upstairs of your building that has not been touched in 50 years? And I just love love things like that. So also back to Krista, just renovating stuff. And you can catch me wanting to buy every building downtown and tell you what I will put in it, because that's just who I am. So anyway, I'm so thankful. I can't wait to see what the next 10 years of Newton look like, and it's going to be an honor and a privilege to be able to do some of that alongside this beautiful group of women. So thank you guys so much. Are we doing a photo op? Okay.
This is like a major picture.
I know, so thank you.
That was awesome, Ashleigh, and we have a couple upstairs buildings you're welcome to look at. One of them you'll have to climb on the roof to get to it, though, because there's no longer a stairway. My name is Lynette Hendrickson, and I have the pleasure of introducing Casie Powell. Well, I met Casie doing kickboxing. And when you do kickboxing with somebody, you don't necessarily know a whole lot, but she can do a mean burpee. I will tell you that. I know she has her little workout crew, and I think they do lots and lots of runs. She's definitely bloomed in the town of Newton, and I didn't know a lot of these things about her. I did know that she organizes the Cookie Days run, and that's been going on for 9 years now. And it's a great fundraiser for both Safe Hope and the Humane Society, so that money helps give resources to victims of abuse and also helps our little furry friends as well. I also know that she bought Kruger Insurance, and so she provides insurance for a lot of the community. And I did not know this, that she is secretary for the Chamber of Commerce. So you learn something new every day. But anyway, thank you so much for everything that you've done for our town. And with no further ado, come on up.
Yay, I didn't trip. That's good. Thank you, Lynette. That was a very nice introduction. I really appreciate it. I am truly humbled by this recognition. When I think of the past recipients and other women that have won this award, it's hard to believe that I'm standing up here alongside them. And they all were so well deserving, so I'm not quite sure I'm there, but I do appreciate it. When I heard the theme of this year's banquet, Bloom Where You're Planted, I immediately thought of how a single bloom is surrounded by others to form a garden. The blooms grow together, help make each other stronger, and they often spread out, branch off, and they make the garden even bigger and more beautiful. This is exactly how I feel about my life, and I'm just so very fortunate to be surrounded by amazing people that have supported me and really helped shape the person I am today. When I was planted, if you will, in Newton 24 years ago, I never imagined this would be our permanent home. It's hard to believe that the first job I walked into, gave my application, I was hired, and I'm still there today, and in fact own the agency. I have a great team that helped me run the day in and day outs of the agency, and as you know, work has its challenges, so I like to joke with them that the only way they're gonna make it through is to embrace my chaos, which they have done. As many of you probably know, we had a fire, and then the next year we have a pandemic. Who would ever imagine? But we got through it, and we got through it together, so thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. I do try to be involved in the community alongside with so many others. We all want to make Newton a great place for ourselves, our children, and future generations, and I'm very proud to be a member of different boards and committees striving to do just that. Once again, this is not a single endeavor. It takes the work of many. Along with my work family, our customers, and community members, my garden also includes my friends and family. I seem to have had the right people land in my life at the right time that really helped me grow. I've been blessed with many friends, and of course my closest and dearest running buddies, who I'm pretty sure are gonna send me a bill for all our hours of street therapy. I'm just waiting for it to come in the mail. But I've also been blessed with an incredible family. I have great in-laws, and
that are like parents to me. And then, of course, a tremendous extended family and they're my best supporters and cheerleaders, and I can't thank them enough. And then, of course, there's our son, Gavin, who made motherhood so very easy most of the time, like except for when he refused to get out of the pool at swimming lessons as a toddler. But he couldn't be here with us tonight because of work, which incidentally, he's teaching swimming lessons right now, so that's weird. But we are so very proud of him and excited to see what his future holds. Probably the most important person in my garden is Scott, my husband, who I understand is the driving force behind me standing up here today. We certainly have had many ups and downs, and we have a lot of people that tell us that they just can't believe some of the stuff that's happened to us, and trust me, we didn't make any of it up. But in keeping with the theme of our garden, we will just consider some of those events the fertilizer, or also known as the manure, if you will. It made us a lot stronger, and it helped us to grow taller. I'm pretty sure sometimes he questions my sanity, or most of the time, although I think I question his more often. But he always has my back and pushes me when needed and is the first one to celebrate any success we have. Finally, thank you to the committee, Women of the Year Committee, for working so hard to honor Ada, Ashleigh, and I. I know it's been tough getting this planned and canceling and planning, and it's been a lot, but we do appreciate your efforts. I'm extremely honored to be standing beside Ashleigh and Ada, two very deserving women, and I really hope that I can live up to the label by helping other women in the community, and I would like to help them bloom and be the best they can be. As I've said, a garden is not made of a single bloom, but lots of blooms that continue to grow and spread. There may be weeds to pull along the way, but I truly look forward to expanding my garden and helping others do the same. Thank you.
I'm pleased to introduce our next honoree, Ada Schmidt-Thiessen. Ada is recently retired from Bethel College, where she taught and mentored social work students for 35 years. Her students and colleagues describe her as caring, kind, compassionate, thoughtful, and empathetic, an excellent teacher, colleague, and friend. In 2017, Ada was presented with the Ralph P. Schrag Distinguished Teaching Award. In 2019, she was acknowledged by the Bethel College Student Athlete Leadership Team for always supporting students outside of their classes and their future families. During this time, she served not only the Bethel College community, but also community organizations such as Mirror Inc., Offender Victim Ministries, and the McKinley Historic Neighborhood Association. Ada is an active member of her church and serves on the Relief Sale Committee for the Mennonite Central Committee. She's worked with the Mennonite Disaster Service, providing relief for those who have been affected by national disaster. Through Bethel College, she has taken students to Mexico with a program called Quest, where students learned about social injustice throughout our world. So it is my honor to present you Ada Schmidt-Thiessen.
Well, it is an honor to be selected as a Woman of the Year, as I would say, one example of the many women in our community worthy of acknowledgement. Thank you so much. I'm excited that this selection means I will join Woman of the Year Sisterhood of Community-Minded Women, and look forward to the work that we can do together. They asked me to say a little bit about myself, and my first thought is that social work defines me both professionally and personally. In my family, there are 8 social work degrees. I have 3. My husband, Wes, got 1 before turning to teaching. My daughters each have 2 social work degrees. Tina is an adoption specialist in South Dakota. Allison works with clients who are HIV positive in Denver. I've been a social worker since 1974, working in mental health, with homeless in downtown Denver, with elderly, and as the Associate Executive Director of the YWCA of Denver. But I spent the last 35 years, as has already been mentioned, as a faculty member and eventually director of the social work program at Bethel College. I was privileged to work alongside and learn from an inspiring social work colleague, Larry Friesen, and also learned from others as well. My proudest accomplishments, though, were not really mine, but belonged to my students who have populated social work agencies throughout the region and have done amazing work. Jenna Ratzlaff, who honored me with the nomination for this award, is an example, and I'll say a little more about her later. When I contemplate tonight's theme, Bloom Where You Are Planted, my thoughts are filtered through a social work lens, naturally. The social work strengths perspective looks for the possibilities within everyone for blooming. There are many examples in this room tonight. Just at my table, there are 5 seasoned, accomplished professionals and 2 young women already accomplished, but with such potential for the future as well. Elizabeth Tran has just become a nursing graduate, and she will be wonderful. You will want her as your nurse at the Newton Medical Center. Jenna Ratzlaff has a Bethel social work degree and is now in the midst of a graduate program. She's organized, committed to social change, skilled with people both young and old. And her story leads me to talk about the other part of the theme, Bloom Where You Are Planted. Jenna was planted or transplanted in North Newton from Guatemala, where she was born. Through her own resilience and strength, she has certainly blossomed in a family and environment very different from those of her birth. I can't think of anyone who better exemplifies our evening's theme. Where You Are Planted is a complicated part of the theme for me and points to an area of future work for me as well. Almost all of us, or our previous generations, have come from somewhere else to plant ourselves here. But history tells us it's been at the expense of others. My family farmed land around here, originally used by the Plains Indians and taken from them a year or 2 before the farm was first established. I acknowledge that we are, at this moment, on the lands of the Osage, the Kansa, and the Wichita. None of us personally pushed the tribes off the land, but we have all indirectly benefited from the resources taken from the original owners. What are our moral obligations towards this injustice? I am in the midst, now that I am retired, of exploring this question for myself. Well, finally, as a social worker, I encourage us all to be aware of the strengths and potential for blooming of every individual we encounter, and to search for ways to work for social justice in the broader society and our community here in Newton. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Pam Stevens, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming this evening to honor our recipients of the 2020 Women of the Year honorees and our scholarship winner. Who would have ever imagined that we would experience a pandemic? I don't think I would have ever thought we were going to experience a pandemic. I know my dad, back in the day, had polio before the vaccine came out, and luckily he didn't have any lasting effects, but it just brought back memories when that happened, and having to make adjustments to the Women of the Year banquet. Our organization decided to postpone the celebration till we could meet in person. So thank you for being patient and understanding. Thanks to all the 2020 winners, Ashleigh Lakey, Ada Schmidt-Thiessen, and Casie Powell. All of you are amazing and deserving of the honor, as well as our scholarship winner for 2020, Mariah McDonald. I want to also congratulate the 2021 scholarship winners, Abigail Hisel, Mallory Seirer, and Shelby Spreier. All of the 2020 winners of the year bloomed where they definitely were planted. I can't wait to see what our scholarship winners go on to bloom where they are planted. And so we'll have to kind of follow along and see where they end up. I want to also thank our committee. I know, Krista, you have done a lot of work with all this banquet for tonight, so thank you to the committee. I love working with you, and I think I'm on for another year, so I'm excited to lead this celebration again next year, and hopefully we're back to normal and can get on our schedule again. So thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate all of you, and if we can have the honorees come up to the stage afterwards and our scholarship winners so we can take pictures. So thank you very much, and congratulations once again.